Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers Live. I am your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. We are live on four platforms now, and we're going to do some fast car shopping Q&A over the next 60 minutes. I want to make sure you know what you need to know to go out here and pay less for leases, purchases, new cars, used cars than everyone else is paying. There's only three prices you can pay with every car. Every car has three prices. Remember this: market value, above market value, below market value. Every car has three prices. Above market value is reserved for people who can't negotiate at all. Market value is reserved for the negotiators. And then below market value is reserved for the people who put dealers against each other and create competition so that they can see the entire market. Below market deals do not come from negotiators. You cannot get a below market deal negotiating. So, and you can't know you got a below market deal negotiating. You must get dealers against each other. And that's what we do here. That's what Cars from Home is about. So start typing your questions. Who's car shopping now, or you will be over the next 12 months? Type me in the comments. Let me know if you are car shopping right now, or you will be over the next 6 months. Type me in the comments. I want you guys typing your questions, and we'll bring the first question into the show in about 10 seconds. All right. Shout out to the people who are, if you're car shopping now, let me know. All right, Dolan, I see we got our first couple questions. Let's get the show on the road. You guys can keep typing, and then we'll, as we get more questions, we'll keep it going. What do you think of drive time? Do you think it's a good option? Well, drive time, any website that does not put dealers against each other is not a good website. Most people are going to try to sell you on variety, and variety makes you think you're getting a better price. Give you an example. Carvana says we have 50,000 cars for you to choose from. That's variety. It's no different than if you walk into the Lay's potato chip factory and you're looking at 100 different flavors you never saw before. They're all Lay's, and you're like, wow, y'all got sour cream and onion, but y'all got baked potato, all of this stuff. It's variety. But if they said to you every single bag is $7.99, you don't have any competition. So you can't compare anything. You can't even compare them to what they would sell it for in the store, because you're in the factory where all of the variety is. That's how most of these websites operate. It's strictly variety, but variety doesn't drive down prices. Competition does. So you want every car you're buying, leasing, you want to look at 100. You want to know within 100 miles of me who has a car like this and who's willing to sell it to me for. What are they willing to sell it to me for? Because this is not the Apple store. My biggest thing I want to get across to you guys concerning this pricing is cars are not like the Apple store. You go into the Apple store in California, the iPhone 15 or 18 or whatever they come out with is going to be the same price as the Apple store in Florida, same price in New Jersey. It's not like that in car dealerships. Every dealer is selling their vehicles for a different price. Every dealer's best price is different. So if you're going to find the below market best prices, you need to be on websites and you need to be using tools that allow you to get multiple offers from multiple different dealers. And there's no websites that do that, so to speak, but our system in Cars from Home is what we use to do it. We're going to get multiple offers, look at all the used cars within 100 miles, screen them down, see which one is the below market lease, the below market deal. And we're going to do the same thing for purchases. We're going to reach out to 25 dealers online. Using my email scripts, we get 5 quotes. So then we pick the best one. Now, you can feel free to do that manually. If you want to actually manually try to call dealers and get multiple quotes, you can. But I recommend you don't talk to dealers. And that's why I created a system where you just email them. But even if you called around, if you're looking for a Honda Pilot and you got 5 different managers to give you 5 different offers, you're going to see they're going to be totally different. This one's going to be $29,000. This one's $31,000. This one's $38,000. This one's $32,000. Like, they're going to be totally different because every dealer has a different price, and 80% of dealers are overpriced. So you're going to be shocked at how overpriced some of these dealers are once you start to get multiple offers. But yeah, when it comes to websites, Christian, if they're not putting dealers against each other for us, if they're not allowing us to see where dealers rank against each other, it's trash. Even on used car marketplaces, Used car marketplaces need to be telling you what discount you're getting from the original price, which they're never going to do. They're used cars. If you've bought a used car in your life, I want you to type the letter U in the comments. If you've ever bought a used car, I'm going to tell you something right now that is that you're going to be like, wow, you're right. That's common sense. But no, none of us have ever done it. No one's ever done it. That's why I added it to my system. When you look at used cars on the marketplace, on the website, cars.com, Auto Trader, you're looking at them using algorithms to tell you if this is a good deal or a bad deal. They're looking at what all the cars are listed at, and they're saying this one's listed higher, this one's listed lower, this is a good deal, this is a fair price. That's trash. Because what they should be telling you is what is the discount you're getting from the original price of that car? The original price of that car. That's all that matters. If that car was originally 50,000 and now they're asking 25,000, that's a 50% discount from the new price. That's all. Listen, during the pandemic, we had people going out and you might have done it and literally buying used cars for the same price as new cars and not really asking questions. And they didn't even really bother to see that the same price they're paying for the 3-year-old used car is the same price it was new. There's no discount. And that's what I call the true value discount. So they're never going to see that. What you would see if they did this is how it would look. This vehicle has a 1% discount from the new car price. This car has a 6% discount from the new car price. And you're going to be like, why the heck would I buy that? It's really no discount. You charge me the same price as what it was new. That's all that matters. But they're never going to do that because then they have a bunch of people paying them to sell cars for them through their website, and the cars wouldn't be selling because people be like, yo, I'm not buying that. There's no value there. So that's what we need to know when we're getting a used car. That's the last step when we're narrowing down our used cars. We pull the original MSRP, we get the original price, and then we compare that. I have a calculator in my book that does it. You put the original MSRP in, you put the asking price in, and then it tells you this vehicle has a 42% true value discount, a 38% true value discount. And that's what you compare when you're shopping prices for used cars. Okay, everything that I'm talking about, if you're like, Deshone, I want the whole blueprint, I'm not going to remember this, you can go and get my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You'll know our system for screening down used cars. You'll know how to get the original MSRP. You'll have the true value calculator, and you can get your copy for 75% off as part of our welcome offer in my TikTok bio for 30 minutes, my Instagram bio, 30 minutes only, or YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. And you won't pay $97. You'll pay $24 if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So go grab your copy. Come on back to the show. Catherine Marie, I have a 2022 Chevy Blazer, 40,000 miles. I want to trade in for a 2024 Kia Sportage. My credit is 530. Is it smart right now? I've never been late on payments. Smart is relative. Why are you doing it? If you just got a vehicle, you're right now driving a vehicle that it's depreciating like this. Whenever we get into so she used a curse word too. A lot of you know, if some of you may know if you've been on a stream with me before, what's the word she used that we don't use here? Some of you may know. I'm not, Catherine, you're new to the stream, so you don't know, but you're about to find out that there's a word. Let me see if anybody gets it. I'll tell you in 3 seconds. Okay. Trade. All right, trade. Why don't we use the word trade? Because you don't get anything, you don't get the value, the maximum value for anything trading it. So if I wanted to get rid of this phone, it's an iPhone 14, would I make the most money trading it, or would I make the most money selling it online on the open market? Would I get the most money trade or sell? Type into the comments. Y'all know, listen, I need you to lock in. Let's go. You know, the people who win with us are the people who are locked in. The whole world wants to distract you and have you focused on all of these things. None of this stuff is going to keep money in your bank account and make sure you're keeping thousands of dollars. You're paying thousands of dollars less. So lock in, focus. Exactly. Trade. No, not WW. No, not trading. Yes, body. Sell. Yes. Open market. Exactly, Sheba. You're going to make the most money selling something on the open market, not trading it. So when in the past we used to have to, sell our cars on Facebook. We don't have to do that now. There's big companies that make us cash offers for our cars that literally write us a check the same day. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, um, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. That's 6 offers. CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Car Gurus. 6 cash offers that we get in 20 minutes. This is in step 2 of my shopping process. This is called the equity assessment. Before you can go into your next car, you want to see what is the maximum value I can get for my current car or my current lease. Can I sell my current lease and make $3,000, $5,000? And if you didn't know you could sell a lease, type a question mark, because if you didn't know you could sell a lease, how much has that cost you already? Just not knowing that you can sell leases, just dropping them off to the dealership, and if there's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of equity, or like in the pandemic, some of us had 10,000 equity, 7,000. You're just giving it back to them, and you're wondering why they're saying, "Oh, good news, we could get you in this new car with no money down." That's because you have equity that they're most likely using for your car because you don't know how to assess your own equity. So we do this ourselves. So when it comes to to me, you look like a lease person. You have a 2 to 3 year old vehicle right now that you're already replacing, and you should not be swapping cars. You're going to have a ton of negative equity because unless you're putting big down payments down, every time you trade these cars in, Catherine, you're just moving all of the baggage from the old car over to the new car. And so you should be leasing, but you're buying. Buying is for people who are going to buy their cars and pay them off and then keep them until the depreciation doesn't look like this anymore, because this is normal depreciation. This is why you buy a car for 40,000 and in 5 years it's worth 18,000 or 16,000. That's called depreciation. So, but you get to a point when you own a car where your depreciation looks like this. Your car, this is around 8 years. Now, your car today might be worth 10,000. Next year, it's worth 98, 9,200. It's not losing that much value anymore. But if you're not buying cars to get to this space, you're throwing money out the window because you're losing thousands in depreciation. And then what you do is you're riding that sliding board of depreciation down to the bottom. And as soon as it's about to cool off, you say, "Oh, let me go get another car and let me ride it down to the bottom again." So you're literally replacing your vehicles in the point in time where you're losing the most money on the vehicle through depreciation. That's why you should not be buying. So now your credit is not in a place where you can lease. So what should you be doing? Building up credit to go into a lease. It's very simple. If I needed to lease, because leasing is going, and you'll see, we'll go over this in the stream. Leasing saves you a lot more money. For $530 a month, we got some people driving 40 and 50, 60,000, 40 and $50,000 vehicles, brand new with no money down. For those same payments, you're driving a vehicle that's less, but it's bigger than the payments. It's more about you not tying up your money in cars. That's what a lease is about, because you don't want to tie up money in a depreciating asset unless you're going to keep it a long time. Long enough to let the depreciation cool off. You're tying up all of that money. It costs a lot to buy. A $25,000 car is $500 a month on a 5-year loan. Meanwhile, like I said, $500 a month on a lease, depending on the car, can get you a $40,000 car or a $50,000 car. You don't believe what I'm saying? Look at Zafrina. Zafrina's paying $579 a month. She's driving a $65,000 car, $65,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Look, this is $512 a month, a $40,000 Honda CRV. This was Jen's best bid. Now, these are not regular leases. These are what are called below market leases. So these don't, I know what you're thinking, Deshone. I saw the commercials. They all say you got to put money down when you lease. All of that is a commercial. Those are not deals. So the point is, what you got to understand, Catherine, is your first thing is to see is to determine why you're buying. And if I'm you, I'm staying in that car and I'm getting my credit to the point where I can lease. You got a nice car, you have a solid car. You're going to switch that into a Kia. Your payment's going to go up because if you go from that to a finance, another purchase, your payment's going to go up. You're going to have negative equity, and you're going to be no closer to leasing. So if you never missed a payment, then you should be focused on getting your credit to about a 660, so that you can go. If you get to a 640 with a good payment history, you should be able to flip out of that Chevy Blazer into a brand new lease, and you can actually save money. Because if your payment has to be high. For a 2022 Chevy Blazer, you financed it, your payment has to be high. That's a $40,000 vehicle. So I'm guessing your payment is around like $700-800 a month. Depends on if you put money down, but you could be driving so much better car than that, or you could have a lower payment. So but you got to get your deal on the right foundation. Leasing is the foundation. Go ahead, Dolan. Leasing versus buying is the foundation. Most people are overpaying strict. It's not just they don't know how to make people bid. It's literally their deal is on the wrong foundation. They should be leasing, but they're purchasing. That's the problem. Negative equity all day long, high payments. They just always have them. What about with a low credit score? What is that? You're gonna have to. I need more info than that. I need more info than that. Like, relate that to your question. Are you trying to buy? Are you trying to lease? Like, what is? Give us a more detailed question, Santiago. Go ahead, Dolan. I'm car shopping right now for a new vehicle. I need a car ASAP. I'm looking to finance. Okay, so first thing to determine is, do you have a current car? Do you have a current car, then you've already decided you're going to purchase. You're not leasing. So therefore, now we move to step 2. My process is 7 steps. Step 2 is equity assessment. Do you have a vehicle you need to sell? Okay. Now we're going to budget for. Are we going to budget for a new car or a pre-owned car? Can you afford both? That's the thing. Now, in my book, I have something called the perfect budget calculator. This is where we use the standard interest rates. We put our, preferred down payment in. It could be 0. Some people, you're like, Sean, I could put 3,000 down, but if I don't have to, I don't want to. That's what the perfect budget calculator does. You put in what you could put down comfortably. You put in what can you spend monthly comfortably. You put in what equity you have from your old car. You put that in, and then what it does is it tells you how much you could afford for a car. Could be 22,000, but you get multiple goals, because what you got to understand is, if I spend $400 a month for a 5-year loan, that's less money than if I spent $400 a month on a 6-year loan. So what we do, oftentimes, you can actually budget for a lower price vehicle simply by shopping for a vehicle with a 5-year loan instead of a 6. So yes, my budget might be $400 a month, but for how long? So the perfect budget calculator gives you multiple goals, because you got to decide, what can you afford? Can you get everything you want in a new car at your budget? You said I'm shopping for a new vehicle. Can you get everything you need in a new vehicle for your budget? If not, then you got to go pre-owned. And then now what you're doing is you're going to the market, and if let's say you're shopping for a new vehicle, because you said I'm shopping for a new vehicle, what we would do is we're separating the finance from the purchase of the car. See, because I could already tell by your statement, you're going to go in mixing them. And what I need you to get is, you're giving dealers, anytime you buy a car from a dealer and you give them a loan, you get your loan from them, you've actually given them 2 transactions. You've given them 2 transactions. Buying a car from a dealership is one transaction. Getting a loan from a dealership is another different transaction. And you're never going to get the best deal doing that, because you're not bidding out the loan. What we do is we bid out everything. Every part of our car buying transaction, we're bidding it out. So we're bidding out, let's say you're searching for a new Honda Civic. Okay, there's 25 Honda dealers within 100 miles of me. I'm talking to all of them online. You use my way, you're doing it by email, copy and paste. You do it your way, you can call around, ask for the managers. But I want to find the Honda dealership that's going to sell me a Honda Civic that I want for the lowest price. Who's going to beat everybody? Now, once I find that person or that dealer, now it's time for me to bid out my loan. My loan gets bid out by me reserving my car with the dealership. Hey, Honda, you already got. See, when you do this, what you're going to get is you're going to get a buyer's order, and you're going to say to the dealer, okay, I'm going to go shop for my own financing, but if you could beat the rate, you can have the business. So sometimes where you're going wrong. Another way you're going wrong is you're not giving the dealer a chance to beat the rate you got, and that's losing you opportunity. And the more people bidding for your loan, the better. And I'm going to tell you how you could do it without affecting your credit negatively. So this is all what I call the bank bidding war. This is in my books, the bank bidding war blueprint, because like I said, we bid everything out. That's how we get these deals that we get, that you see people get. So the point is, we lock up our car, we go home, we have our banks bid, we have online credit unions bid, online banks bid. Whoever gives us the best rate, now we call the dealership and we say, hey, if you can beat the rate, you can have the business. See, if you, it doesn't have, you never want the dealer telling you what your payment is going to be. Your payment is between you and the people giving you the loan. But because you mix those transactions, you don't realize you're giving the dealer maybe $5,000, $7,000 of negotiating room in the car you want to buy. And then you're giving them another $3,000 of negotiating room in the loan. So they have all of this money to move around, and then God forbid you trade in your car. Now they got another $3,000 of wiggle room in that. You're giving them all three transactions. And that's why you're wondering, oh, I hope I could get a good deal. You can't. You have to separate these transactions and do them at home so that you can bid them out. So that's what you would do. If that's a process I call the 25 to 5. And as you can see, you don't need a lot of time to work our system. Ansley, I want to say, where's Ansley's deal? I think he got his below market deal in like, look, he said right here, he said, I started the process Saturday. I accepted a deal Monday. Got the car delivered Thursday. So for those of you, if you're like, man, Deshone, I need a car in 3 days. Ansley started the process using our process Saturday, accepted a deal on Monday. This is a 90-minute to 3-hour process to get below market deals. This isn't days. I haven't spent more than 90 minutes to get any deal. My Infinity truck, all my leases I never spent more than 90 minutes to get any of these deals. But you can see here, he got a 2024 Infinity QX60 Lux. MSRP was $58,000. Huge discount, multiple offers. He got a 1% lease. That's a $554 a month payment. It's a $58,000 vehicle. It's people paying $554 on $35,000 vehicles, leasing them. You got to understand, bidding is how we do it. Bidding is how we do it. So it doesn't matter if you need a car ASAP, you want the blueprint. Get your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Now, you can do this manually too. Again, I don't care how you get multiple offers. I prefer you to use our way because our way is proven. We have dozens and dozens of people that we can show you today, and we have hundreds of people you can see all over my pages and the comments who've been using this stuff since 2021. But I don't care how you get multiple offers, just get them. Because the money savings is in multiple offers. If you're looking at a blue used car and you're like, man, this dealer right by my house got this nice blue Chevrolet Cobalt, I don't care. Just understand there are hundreds of that same vehicle all around. And that what they want you thinking is this is the only one like this. So that way you can come deal with them, and then whatever way you can negotiate, there you go. Once you understand that as an ex-car salesman, I can tell you that even the most rare G-Wagon, there's more than one of them. That's the most rare cars. There's more than one of them. Very few cars are one of one. And these mainstream cars, Hondas, Fords, Toyotas, when you see them on dealers, Mercedes, there's hundreds of this same car. My job, your job, is to get offers from multiple dealers so that you find the dealer who's going to sell you the car the lowest. Lock that into your mind. All right. And this is what the Cars from Home system is about. So grab your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You'll have the whole blueprint. In my TikTok bio, you get yours for 75% off. That's my welcome offer to you. So normally the book's $97. It'll be in your inbox in 2-3 minutes. But if you get there before the 30-minute timer goes to 0, you can get your copy for 75% off, which is $25. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Get there before 0. All right? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question up. Let's go. Can you negotiate a buyout from a lease? Not usually. I haven't seen it because your buyout price is set on the contract. So when you lease your vehicle, the buyout price is established and the bank has already determined what they're going to resell the vehicle for. So they estimate based on what you tell them you're going to use their resale value. So if you tell them you're going to use 10,000 miles per year for 3 years, they're expecting the vehicle to come back with 30,000 miles on it, and they're anticipating what their market value will be to resell the vehicle based on 30,000 miles. That's why when you bring the vehicle back with 40,000 miles, you must pay for that because they've already anticipated our sale is based on 30,000 miles and you brought it back with 40. No matter what dealers have told you, they have never made your mileage penalties disappear. You cannot make mileage penalties disappear. What they can do is they can cut them a check, which is rolling those mileage penalties into your next deal. That's what happens. But how many of you are getting calls from dealers saying, come on and we'll get you out of your lease early? Come on and we'll get you out of your lease early. Come on and we'll take care of the remaining payments. How many? Type me if you're getting those calls or if you're getting those letters. Hey, we'll get you out 6 months early. They're not doing anything but rolling your payments into the next car and hoping that you'll be okay with the new payment. But if you waited until you didn't have this baggage, you can literally make a deal without the baggage. So yes, you might be able to achieve $500 a month with the baggage, and maybe you could afford $500 a month, so it's okay with you. But if you were patient, you could literally make your deal when you didn't have the baggage, and the same car you got for $500, you could get for $400 a month. So they're playing on the fact that you're going to want a new car and you're not going to look at the numbers and be able to understand that they're rolling those numbers into the new car. And if you were patient, you wouldn't have to deal with that. That's the big thing. It's just about being patient. It's the biggest play on your emotions. There's no other industry like the car business that plays on your emotions, and they use it to your disadvantage. It's all that's why I tell you we don't talk numbers in dealerships. We don't negotiate in dealerships because you're in their house, you're looking at a product you like, and you have no leverage to even talk to their competitors sitting in their house getting numbers. That's why we don't do it. We only get numbers from home. All of our deals are made from home. So no, I haven't seen you be able to negotiate a buyout on a lease. The price is set. And that's another reason why you don't want to buy a lease. Let me end this question with this. The buying of leases is a horrible idea. In most cases, it's one of the worst things you can do because most people are not checking to see that the vehicle they're buying out is actually a good price. So if you're not checking to see that the vehicle you're buying out is a good price, you don't even know that you just overpaid for your lease. Especially those of you who, if you go over your miles, let's just say your buyout is 20,000 based on 30,000 miles. You're supposed to have 30,000 miles. You can buy that car for $20,000 based on 30,000 miles at the end of the lease. Now you drive 50,000 miles. You go 20,000 miles over because you got the wrong miles. You didn't pay to get 18,000 miles like you should have. You took a lower payment and you now have a penalty. It's not the lease's fault. So now you come back and you say, well, I'm gonna just buy the vehicle. The problem is the vehicle that the 20,000 buyout price was based on 30,000 miles. So now you're about to buy a vehicle and pay the same price that was for a $30,000 30,000 mile vehicle. You're going to pay the same price for a 50,000 mile vehicle. So you buried yourself and you've bought something well above what it was worth. You've paid well above what it was worth, because the fact you put 50,000 miles on it didn't adjust the buyout. It didn't say, well, you put 50,000 on it. Instead of 20, you could buy it for 16 because it's really not worth 20 at all. No, you're paying the buyout price no matter what. So 99 times out of 100, the penalty is way less. It's just bad leasing. It's bad lease structure. When you see people that hate leases, it's their fault in a lot of cases. They don't know that though. Man, I didn't get the mileage. They penalized me. Man, you know, I got a bill because I had dents and the windshield was cracked. But if you own the car when you went to sell that car and it was a cracked windshield, wouldn't you need to pay for that? Wouldn't that come off the value? So you have to realize that leasing, you get charged for what you use. If you abuse the car, you're going to be charged for that. If your tires are bald, you're going to be charged for that. If you went to sell the car that you owned to someone and it had bald tires, they would be like, all right, you got to lower the price. The tires are bald. So you pay either way. But when you get below market leases, it's not even a question. It's not even a question. That's what's leading you guys wrong. So anyway, I know that wasn't a question about leases, but it was a question about lease buyout. But I use it as another opportunity to tell you how much not understanding leasing is hurting you. It's hurting your bank account big time. Go ahead, Dolan. Big time, not small. $5,000-$6,000 every car you get. You should be leasing, but you're buying. $5,000-$6,000 minimum every car you get. You're overpaying. It's not even close. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. I see we're getting a lot of questions, and let me try to speed through a lot more of these. What's going on, Oak QT? Good to see you, Senator. Always on point. Let's hook up. All right, Senator. I don't know who you are, but hey, listen. TikTok knows I'm shopping for a car today. Listen, lock in, Tifa. Lock in. Could everybody hit the like button? Everyone who hits the like button, if you support good content and you're like, listen, I need to help spread this because my friend might be going out buying a car today and they might be getting, listen, they need this. So appreciate everybody who hits the like button. Appreciate everyone on TikTok, double tapping the screen, running those likes up. We can't spread this message without you. All right, Chef Champion. What do I do if I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee and the value decreases faster than the payoff? That's normal. That's normal. See, and now watch this. It's based on your loan. So now, again, you want to remember this. This is a basic lesson on depreciation. If we learned this in school, everyone would be just fine because you come out of school understanding depreciation, leasing, and buying, and you understand how you're going to beat this and not get caught up in this. So when you buy your vehicle, the Jeep is here. The depreciation is here. The next day, if you buy a vehicle for $40,000, you go back the next day, it's not worth $40,000. You've already owned it. It already has 10 miles on it. Even if you didn't drive it, literally because it's been owned, it's depreciated. So it went from 40 to 36 the day you bought it, 34 the day you bought it. And so depending on how much you overpaid, it could drop even more. If you should have gotten a $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 discount off the car, but you didn't get a discount because you don't know how to make dealers bid and you're trying to negotiate and you don't know about rebates and all that, you overpaid. It doesn't change the fact your car is going to depreciate based on the market value of that car. So when the market sees that some people are getting $7,000 to $10,000 off of the new ones, your 1-year-old one becomes worth even less. So depreciation is what you're trying to avoid, but you can avoid it by, you can't change what the vehicle is going to do. Pay very close attention to this. You cannot change. If a vehicle is going to depreciate like this, there's nothing you can do to change that. The only factors you play is how much you drive. High mileage drivers, you're depreciating like this. Your slope is steep. You're putting 100,000 miles on cars in 4 years. Your car goes from 40,000 to daggone 15,000 in 4 years. Like that's the way you do. Your normal driver is going to look like this. So you can't change that. What you can do is you can say, are you going to keep the vehicle long enough to avoid that? You're riding out the depreciation. Who has a vehicle in here that they've had outside their house right now? Right now. It's older than 8 years. I want you to type the number of years in the chat. Let me know how many years you've had the vehicle in your driveway. If it's more than 8, I want you to type 12 years, 11 years. If it's more than 8, I want you to type the number. Okay, I see you. The next 11 years. No, not 2, Kathy. It has to be more than 8. All right, 12 years. I see you. All right, I see you, Happy. 8 years. Raw Doggy, 18 years. Okay, TT, 18 and a half years. Charlie, 35 years. Okay, so when we look at this, this is how you beat depreciation. This is the goal. This is the goal of the purchase. You need to understand, Chef, that that's the goal of the purchase. See, they're not thinking when their Jeep Grand Cherokee value decreases after 2 years or 3 years. They're not thinking that way. They're long term. See, short term people who don't lease are the ones that are concerned about depreciation. Pay close attention, because you're getting the mindset of why not understanding leasing is super expensive. Because when you're them, you're not concerned with depreciation. These TT is not concerned. She's had a vehicle 8.5 years, 35 years, like 18 years. Raw Doggy's had. That vehicle. He's gotten the value out of it. And the more you keep the vehicle, the more value you get out of it. But if you're short term and you're looking to swap that vehicle out and go get another one, you are heavily concerned with depreciation. Heavily. And the solution is you should be leasing. Let me show you someone who has a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let me show you. Do I have Raphael? Where's she at? I don't even know if I have Raphael's deal, but I want to pull it in, because this was her second deal using our bidding system. Here we go. Now look at Raphael. So now she gets a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $45,000 MSRP, $46,000 MSRP, $549 a month. $549 a month. Look, 3 weeks. $549. So now when you look, I'm not even going to show you Zafrina's deal. She got a $65,000 electric Jeep, $579 a month. So when you compare what it costs them to drive these trucks, brand new, no money down, they literally give them $579, drive off. Raphael gave them $549, drove off in her truck. That's different than you buying this whole Jeep Grand Cherokee. Same price vehicles they're buying, call it close to $50,000. No money down, you're leaving out at $900 a month, $1,000 a month. You might put 10 grand down, or you might throw your trade in there as a down payment to get to $800 a month. But you're not getting to a $600 payment on a Jeep Grand Cherokee buying it. Maybe you bought a 3-year-old one and you might be paying the same payment as they're paying. But think about this. Why would I pay the same payment? Because some of you are like, oh man, Deshone, I buy used cars. Is that better than leasing? Not if you're a short-term person. Because what you're doing is, you take somebody like Raphael, she's pulling up $549 a month, brand new $50,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $46,000 Jeep, what's the MSRP? $46,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Now you got that same vehicle, but you bought it used. So instead of $46,000, you found one for, let's say 20. Let's say instead of 46, you got a nice one, 28,000. 28,000. Let's round it up with taxes. Be generous. Let's just say 30,000 with taxes. What's the car payment on that, people? What is the car payment on a vehicle that is $30,000? Type into the chat. Some of you know, based on our $5,000 rule, what's the car payment on a vehicle for $30,000? Thank you, Happy. $600. Thank you. I love, man, my people on point, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the people that's on point, locked in. I know y'all. I don't have to worry about y'all. So $600 a month. Now look at this. That's if we found a used one at a great price, 20-something thousand, high 20s with taxes. We at 30. So we're leaving out the dealership, paying $600 a month for a used vehicle, 3 or 4 years old, 1 year warranty left, or potentially no warranty after a year. So versus someone who's driving a brand new $65,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee electric, $579 a month, or like Raphael, who's driving her limited for $549 a month. She's pulling up next to you in the same vehicle, but the new version, you're paying more than her. This does not make financial sense, and there's no way to justify it because you're not getting the money back. If you were going to say, Deshone, yeah, I'm paying more now, but in 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, when I sell this thing, watch how much I get back. If that was the case, then it'd be different. That's not the case. You don't get the money back that you put into these cars. That's why the people who learn from me, who get below market leases, we're never putting the money in the car. We're putting hundreds of dollars, couple hundred in. We're driving these brand new cars. We get the mileage we need. We adjust the mileage. If you need 12,000, you get 12. You get 18. You need 18,000, you get 18,000. You need 25,000, you get 25,000 mile a year leases. But you don't buy these cars, tie up all this money, not get it back when you trade them in, and then go and do it over and over again and just stay in this depreciation cycle. Just stay in this depreciation cycle all the time. You're living in this depreciation cycle. You're never getting to the people who we talked about 8 minutes ago who are here, keeping their cars 18 years, 12 years, 10 years, where their depreciation is like this. This is the reward for purchasing. If you're not trying to get here, you should not be purchasing. You should be shopping for below market leases. So you can't beat depreciation in the short run, Jeff. To answer your question, to wrap this up, you're trying to beat depreciation in the short term. You cannot do it. The car is going to depreciate, and it doesn't matter the payoff. You could have took a 3-year loan. You would be paying more. Your loan would be going away quicker, but you probably took a 5 or 6 year loan, God forbid, a 7-year loan. Now your loan's not going to move fast at all, but the car's value is always going to move. So the key is, this is step 1 in my book. We need to know, are we putting our deal on the lease foundation or the purchase foundation? How are we going to beat depreciation? Long-term ownership, 8+ years, or below market lease? Those are the only 2 ways. That's the only 2 ways to beat depreciation. That's step 1 in my book, the most important question. Okay? All of this you can get 75% off as my welcome offer to you for getting cars from home, my new digital book, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's already 5-star rated. You can type it into Google. You'll see all the reviews online. Shout out to everyone who reviewed the book on Goodreads. And the book is just everything I teach. Everything you hear on my streams, it's in there step by step so that you don't have to remember this. So you can go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. And if you get there before 30 minutes is up, you get your copy for 75% off the whole blueprint. The bank bidding war is in there, selling leases, high mileage driving strategies, all in there step by step for you guys. All right. Once you get your book, make sure you screenshot the thank you page, though. As soon as you pay, you're going to see a page that says screenshot this page. You can open the book link there, but you'll also have my support team's email, because sometimes you're typing fast and you type your email wrong, and we can't send the book to a wrong email. So make sure you screenshot that page so you can have the support team's email. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question in. Hey, what to do if I'm upside down and need a new vehicle? Well, you can only get out of negative equity 2 ways. This is also in my book. You can pay the difference, or you can move it over, transfer it. Now, the third option with negative equity is you don't get a car. This is what I call the bad credit for people with good credit. Negative equity is the bad credit for people with good credit, because when I was in the dealership, some of you know I worked for Mercedes for 5 years, General Motors 5 years. The only people who couldn't get a car who had great credit was people with too much negative equity. So what you're looking for is you're looking to see, doing the equity assessment, what is the most I can get for my car? Because let's say the dealer tells you your car is only worth $14,000, but you owe $16,000. They're going to tell you you have $2,000 of negative equity. That's why we never get our prices of what our car is worth from a dealer. We do this from home during our equity assessment. This takes us 20 minutes. We go on CarMax.com, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. This is 6 cash offers that we're going to get in 20 minutes. So now these are the most competitive offers we're going to get, and that's going to tell us the least amount of negative equity that we would have. So if the highest bidder from the online buyers pays you 18 and you only owe 19, then you have $1,000 of negative equity. I would come up with the 1,000 and sell to the highest bidder. This is what I call paying the difference. Why is that the first option? Because you can now shop your car deal, get bids for your new car, and you don't have to bring over baggage from your old car. Now, your baggage from your old car wouldn't be a bad thing if you could guarantee that whoever, all right, let's say CarMax wants to pay you 19 for your old car, but you can't pay the difference. You owe too much more than that, and you can't pay the difference. Now you have to transfer, or you have to, use this word we don't use, which is trade. You have to trade. The only time that you can't get bids for your old car to maximize the value is in a negative equity situation. That's why we don't like it. So now, instead of me being able to sell my car in the open market to the highest bidder, I need the dealership that I buy a car from to add my negative equity to the deal. And the bad part about it is there's no guarantee they're going to give me the same thing Carvana was going to give me. If Carvana was going to give me 19 and they were the highest offer, there's no guarantee the dealership that I'm buying from could match Carvana's offer. In most cases, they can't. They're going to say, hey, that was Carvana. It's worth 19 to them. It's only worth 17 to us. That's the most we could pay. And they're not lying in a lot of those cases. They can't. First of all, they've already won the bid to sell you a car. They beat all their competitors. Now we want them to win another bid and beat all the people who wanted to buy a car from. That's just not going to happen in most cases. So you end up with more negative equity when you have to trade, because the dealer who ends up able to, absorb your car does not have, can't pay you what some of these online companies can. So I always say, get the online companies buy offers first. See if you can pay the difference. That's going to be the least amount of negative equity you have. That'll allow you to move with no baggage, and that's going to be the best thing for you. Now, that's the 2 strategies in my book for negative equity. 2 strategies. Now, if you need to transfer, now you have to take into account loan to value ratios. Depends on how much negative equity you have. Do you have 4,000, 3,000? That could usually be transferred over to most cars and go right on top of the purchase price, and you're going to be fine. But if you have $10,000 or $15,000 of negative equity, there's not many cars that you can switch over to, and it's going to allow you to absorb all of that unless you get a big discount. If you get a big discount, you look at somebody like Milligan. Milligan gets, $27,000 off her, where's her deal at? She gets $27,000 off her Mercedes EQE. It was $79,000. She ends up getting it for 51. That's bidding. She gets all the discount and all the rebates. And now you look at somebody like Kimberly. Kimberly gets $20,000 off of her Maserati. $86,000 vehicle, 87. She gets $20,700 off. If she had to roll over 15 grand of negative equity to this deal, she could do it. So the bigger the amount of negative equity, the more you need to search for a car that the best offer on it, the below market offer on it, gives you a lot of rebates, a lot of discounts, 7, 10 grand, 12 grand off, so that you can roll that negative equity over. And 99 times out of 100, you should be rolling it over to a lease, because once the lease is paid off in 3 years, you're gone, and the negative equity is gone. And it's a hedge, because this has happened to people. They didn't plan on it, but they'll roll over 5 grand of negative equity or 10 grand of negative equity to a lease. Vehicle gets totaled. Gap insurance kicks in. They go out, they get a new car, and they're fresh. So with a lease, you're burying the negative equity into the lease and you're paying it off in 3 years, and then you're fresh. And in the case of a, God forbid, total, or the vehicle stolen and not recovered, it's gone. Negative equity is gone. So it's it's the best way. Going from a negative equity situation to another finance makes no sense to me, unless it was an emergency and you had to switch cars. That's the only time, like you were planning on keeping the car 8 years, 10 years, but there was an emergency. Maybe your wife had triplets and the car doesn't work anymore. Now you have to go and get a bigger car, but you're a long-term person. That's the only case. The other cases, you should be flipping negative equity into a lease. That's the solution. Go ahead, Dolan. Great questions. Great questions. Great questions. Have you explained the lease? Well, the lease is very simple. It's for short-term people, and short-term means I'm not keeping my car long enough to ride out the depreciation. See, short-term is not a 5 years, 8 years, it's 3 years. No, it's the depreciation curve looks like this on a car. So a short-term person is not going to get here. You're not keeping your cars 8 years to where you're going to ride out the depreciation and now you're not losing value. Car's paid off. You got a great asset in the driveway, and you're going to keep it for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get the most money out of it. That's the purchase route. That's how you're beating depreciation there. Leasing is for people who are you've been taught that you should buy, even though this is your ownership cycle. This is your ownership cycle. It looks like this. I buy a car, it loses 50% of its value in 5 years. I go and I do it again. Trade it in, replace it, do it again. Every single car I buy, I'm losing thousands and thousands of dollars in depreciation. Then I go and do it again. I never let it cool off. And I'm putting a lot of money into these cars because I buy the whole car. $40,000 car, $25,000 used car, whatever. I'm putting all the money into these cars, and then I'm replacing them before the depreciation cools off. Leasing is is for you to get off that roller coaster, get off that sliding board. That's a losing battle, and you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars more for that right. You're paying for that privilege that gives you no benefits. No benefit. You can see, and that's the reason why I teach about depreciation, so that you can understand when people say, oh, well, I like to buy my cars because I want to drive as much as I want. They don't understand. If you bought a car for 40 and you put average miles on it, this is how it looks. If you bought a car for 40 and you put high mileage on it, this is how it looks. It doesn't stay like that. It goes down. No matter what you pay for, how much you drive on a car, even if you own it. If you put 100,000 miles on your car in a year, you come back, what is it worth? Whole lot less. Whole lot less. Like, this is not even close. So the key, when you understand this is what I call the unseen expense, depreciation. Then you understand, okay, being that I'm going to pay for my car, whether I buy or lease, which option allows me to pay less? That's based on my lifestyle. If I'm going to keep my car 8, 9, 10 years, buying allows me to pay less in the long run. In the short term, buying is more expensive. Remember, we already compared somebody like Zafrina's lease, she's paying $579 a month, driving a $65,000 car. We compared that to a used version. Somebody gets a used version for $30,000. They're paying $600 a month to drive a used version, 3, 4 years old. Somebody who wants to buy a brand new version like Safrina got, $65,000 car, that's a $1,300 a month payment. Even with a big discount. Let's say, well, Deshone, what if they got a huge discount? $15,000 off. Okay, let's play the game. So they get a huge $15,000 discount off that same Jeep that Zafrina got. So instead of paying $65,000, let's go back to her so everybody can play along. So instead of paying, hold on, no, that's not. All right, so $65,000, she gets a $15,000 discount. So instead of paying 65, she pays 50. What's the payment on that? Come on, type into the chat. Stay close to the chat. She gets it for 6. She gets it for 50. Huge big discount. What's her payment on a $50,000 purchase? Some of you know we got to do our math because every $5,000, $100 a month, we could see if anybody's going to type it in. What would her payment be? Once in a lifetime, huge discount, $15,000 off. $1,000. $1,000. $1,000. So let's compare these three so that we can understand that this is not even close. You have Zafrina, who's driving a $65,000 vehicle for $579 a month. She's leasing it, 12,000 miles per year. If we compared a used version of this vehicle that we basically took half price. Let's say she's magically found a great used vehicle with good mileage and magically found it for half price. We already know that ain't gonna happen. And y'all know why I'm doing this. You can see, dag, if we're being extra conservative and these numbers are still nowhere close, imagine how much you're really losing by not understanding this. If we use real numbers, if we use like more accurate numbers, you're not getting a $15,000 discount. You're not getting a half price discount on a used one. You might get it for like 40. So that 40,000, that's an $800 a month payment. 30,000, $600 a month payment. Brand new one with a big discount, $1,000 a month payment. None of these are close to what Zafrina's paying at $579 for what she's getting. Driving a brand new vehicle, not tying up her money, driving a brand new vehicle. No, so that's what I'm saying. The reason why leasing versus buying is step one in my book is because if you buy, but you should have leased, you cannot get a great deal anymore. You cannot. That's why you're like, you may write me and be like, Deshone, man, I figured out I shouldn't be buying anymore. Should I stay in this car? Or should I switch to a lease now? There's no benefit in you staying in it. If you can swap from a finance to a lease or from a purchase to a lease right now, you should be doing that right now. There's no benefit to staying in a finance if you're not keeping the car long enough to get here. You're just delaying the inevitable, putting more money into the car, driving less car than you could be driving for the money you're paying. There's no benefits there. No benefits there. So that's it. Everything we're talking about is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Our entire process is called Cars from Home. 90% of what we do to get these below market deals is at home with a computer. So you don't need to be a great negotiator to get these prices that you're seeing people pay. You do need to have the blueprint, and Cars from Home, my new digital book, is the blueprint, and you can get a copy for 75% off. It's normally $97, and it's worth every penny of $97, but $24 is better. If you can get to my bio before the 30-minute timer goes to 0, you can get your copy for 75% off, which is $24, and you'll have everything we're talking about, everything we haven't had time to talk about so far: leasing, buying, below market deals, purchases, below the bank bidding war, where we have banks and credit unions bidding. All of this is laid out for you step by step in the book. So grab your copy in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Get there before 30 minutes is up. Okay, go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question in. Body envy sculpting. What if you drive a lot of miles with a lease? That's very simple. You're still depreciating your vehicle whether you buy or lease. So let's just say you are driving 30,000 miles per year, but you're buying. You're destroying the value of your car. So you're paying for that. If you were going to sell a car today and it was 30, it had, let's say it's a used car, it has 40,000 miles on it. You go out this year and you drive another 30,000 miles. When you come back, you just, whatever you were going to sell the car for with 40,000 miles, forget it. Like, you put another 30,000 miles in 1 year, your value just dropped tremendously. High mileage drivers, you are getting killed the worst with depreciation, because you get these deals and you structure these deals like you're not a high mileage driver. That's why when I was at the dealership, some of you know I've spent 14 years in dealerships, 4 years in my own brokerage, 5 years in Mercedes, 5 with General Motors. So when I was in the dealership, people would come in, and especially when Uber first started, and they would have like a 5-year-old Honda, but it had 250,000 miles on it. And that wouldn't be a problem, except they still owed like 12 grand on it. That's the problem. So it's not that you're structuring your loan in a way where you drive. The only way for you to not have big negative equity every deal, 10 to 15,000 or more, is you would have to be putting that money down. You would have to be making large down payments to stay out of negative equity, being a high mileage short-term driver who's trying to replace their cars in 3-4 years, because it's inevitable. And then you'd also have to you'd have to take a shorter loan. That's people's solution for high mileage drivers. You should either put more money down so you can avoid negative equity, or you should take a shorter loan. So instead of a 6-year loan, you should take a 4-year loan. Now, if you're just doing this mileage based on your normal life, business, your profession, then you should be leasing. If you could predict the mileage. If you can predict the mileage, then you should be leasing. And I'm gonna tell you where I learned this. I learned this from a customer when I was a manager at Hyundai. I was a manager at Hyundai for 6 weeks. Dealership was not for me, but 6 weeks I was there and I learned something very valuable. I was helping a guy return his lease. He had a Hyundai Sonata, and I looked at the mileage, because we have to get the mileage at the end of the lease. It's 72,000 miles. And I asked him, I said, "You lease this?" He said, "Yeah, I always lease now. I used to buy it and I always would have negative equity. All I do is lease now. I pay a little more, and then I drive my 25,000 miles a year. I get my 25,000 mile a year leases, and that's it. I come every 3 years, I get me another one." He was in sales. Since then, I've been telling any one of my clients listen, let's take a look at a lease. Because when I looked at his payment, if a great deal on a Hyundai Sonata at the time, why my nose itching? If a great deal let's say a great deal on a Hyundai Sonata at that time might have been $350 a month. Let's say he was paying $550, $525. He wasn't paying $800. He wasn't paying double. He was literally paying like $175 more per month to drive 25,000 miles a year. Huge, huge benefit. Now, if you don't know how to get good lease deals and you go and you try to do a high mileage lease, then it's going to suck. Because they're going to hit you with a high lease to begin with, and then they're going to say, "Oh, you want 25,000 miles? You want 20,000 miles? Oh, now you're going to be at 1,000 or 20." But if you do like what Jen did, Jen she uses our system. She gets her bids for a Honda CRV hybrid, very popular vehicle, has been for the last 3 years. She gets a $39,000 vehicle, $512 a month, no money down. That's a 1.3% lease. And then she adjusted it from 12,000 miles to 18,000 miles. Payment went from $512 to $563. Look. And then after that, she put money down because she wanted to lower her payment. See, we always talk about when you put money down, you have to lower it. You always have a good deal, a great deal, before you put money down. Money down is just to lower your payment on an already great deal. You can't buy your way to a great deal. You can't. So she had a 1.3% lease, and then she bumps it up to $563 a month. See, so some people who didn't understand lease structure, knowing they needed 18,000 miles per year like Jen, they would take the 12. They take the 12, take the $512 a month payment, not even ask, "Hey, how much would it cost me to get 18,000? Because that's what I need." She pays $45 more per month. She drives 18,000. She could bring that vehicle back with 60,000 miles on it in 3 years, and she could do it again and get another one. And she's not taking the depreciation hit. She's paying a small amount to drive that vehicle over the next 3 years. That's the benefit of getting below market lease deals. Hey, Ava. Hey, no problem. Yeah, thank you for what you do. Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for showing up. I'm here for the people who locked in. You know, that is what I'm here for. I'm here. I want you guys writing me, sending me your deals, sending me your offers, sending me what you get when you pick up your car, saying, hey, go into Goodreads, adding your reviews to the book, because that's what matters. That's all that matters. I hold myself accountable to what the people do. That's it. When I set out to teach, it was all about God. We have to deliver a system where people can get the same results I get. If you can't get the same results I get, then it sucks. It's not a system. It's not a system. That's why I show all the people who I can on these streams without showing them all day. I could show 100 people on a stream, but then we just be sitting here looking at people all day long. All right. All right. So listen, y'all, we've been on for a little over an hour. Look, everything that, if you're like, Deshone, I want the whole blueprint, you can get it for $24. It's normally $97. This is my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Everything about below market deals is in there step by step. There's 7 steps in our system. 7 steps. First step is the most important question. How many years are you keeping the next vehicle? The second, what did I say? First step. First step is the most important question. Second step is the equity assessment. Third step is deal structure. Fourth step is shopping, not buying. Fifth step is multiple offers. Sixth step is paperwork and protection. Seventh step is delivery. 7 steps to below market deals for leases, purchases, new cars, used cars, all step by step. So you can get your copy as part of my welcome offer for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97 price. You can go to my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, or click the link in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, but it's only for 30 minutes. If you visited the site and the timer hit 0, then unfortunately, welcome offers away. The book is still worth every penny of $97. It'd still be one of the most valuable books, but $24 is better if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So keep me posted. We'll be back for more streams. Hold on, let me see this. Lease a car. When leasing a car and you don't use all your mileage, do they give you a refund at the end of the lease? No, Raw Doggy, but that's why we assess our equity. So take somebody like my mother. She's a low mileage driver. Her lease is up on her Mazda. We assess her equity. If the vehicle has retained value because of the lower mileage, we're going to sell that and put money in her bank account. So even if we have a vehicle, leasing is also a hedge against vehicles for vehicles that don't lose value a lot, be it through natural depreciation or be it through I bought 15,000 miles. I thought I was going to use it, but I only use 10,000 miles a year. So now I'm 15,000 miles under. Okay, let's assess the equity. Let's see if we can sell that vehicle, put $2,000-$3,000 in your pocket, and then now that's a bonus. You basically leased and got a rebate at the end. Kind of new to this, where's the bio to get your book? Raw Doggy, you click the picture of me on TikTok. There's a picture of me right up here. If you're on Instagram, same picture of me. It'll take you to my profile, and you'll see a website there, a link. There's a link there, and then you click that, and then click the button that says 75% off new book. Okay, all of you who have been asking about the Shop with Deshone program, you can certainly go to my bio and see if you qualify for that. I do shop with certain people all around the country for people who want a more personalized learning experience. Some of you are done with you. You might be a done with you person. So if you're a do-it-yourself person, that is the blueprint. Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. That is the blueprint. But if you're a done with me person, if you like to do things with people, personally, then you could also go to my bio and you can get information about the Shop with Deshone program. I don't care how you do it. Just get in where you fit in, get multiple offers, unlearn what you've been taught, or I can't even say what you've been taught. If you think about it, no one taught you to buy a car. They programmed us. We didn't go into school. We didn't learn. This is how it was like. It was a programming. So that's why we have to unlearn that and relearn the new way. And then, the success is guaranteed. So God bless you. I will see y'all on the next stream. Everyone who got the book, congratulations. Use it. Win all day. God bless you.